Welcome back here to the Belleville East Practice Club Social Media Accounts, episode 22 of the Lancer Conversation. You're joined by another one of our senior players on the baseball team, joined by star pitcher, the Ole Miss commit, Zander Mueth. Appreciate taking time to join me here.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Start off with your commitment to Ole Miss. I know it's been over a year, 2 years now since your commitment. What was that whole process like committing there?
It was kind of crazy because it was during COVID, so you didn't get to really talk to the coaches much because obviously with the rules and just not being able to see people on the campus or get to talk to any of the players. But Ole Miss was my dream school since I was probably 9, so it was a pretty easy decision for me.
How did it feel for your dream school to reach out to you and give you the attention?
It felt amazing. I mean, my pitching coach went there, so just being able to follow in his footsteps definitely feels good to me.
How did it feel for you to commit pretty early in your career? Because I know it was sophomore year, I think you committed.
Yeah. It was just kind of all my work kind of paying off to that point because, coming into high school, I wasn't a big name like other kids. And, just being able to work really hard just to get to where I was in a year just definitely felt really good.
Now you're going to get to the next step next year. How does it feel for you to keep playing past high school and out of the college level?
It feels great. Obviously it's hard to give up baseball after high school, but, being able to continue playing is great.
Last year you pitched on MLB Network at the Dodger Stadium. I know you've pitched at a few other major league parks. What's it been like pitching at those stadiums and seeing yourself on TV?
It was a great experience, being able to just be in stadiums where people that I look up to throw at, just is definitely a shocked feeling.
There's been a couple MLB scouts or college scouts at games you pitch here at East and games you pitch away. You get really nervous at all kind of seeing them in the stands, or it's kind of an afterthought when you take the bump?
It's more of an afterthought now. Whenever it first started happening, I guess sophomore fall, it was kind of a little getting nervous. But now since I'm kind of used to it, I don't really think about it. I just try not to look.
Yeah, what's kind of that adjustment making? I know you said kind of got to you a bit, but how have you adjusted now where it's afterthought?
Just not really looking at it. That's the best thing to do is you just can't look past the catcher.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen some of the news, internet, some of the headlines, some mock drafts. Kind of second or third round pick right now. How do you make that decision of it saying, hey, let's go to Ole Miss next year or go to MLB if you get drafted? How are you facing that decision if that comes here in the next few weeks?
Just talking with my family and figuring out what the best decision is because I have Ole Miss or the draft. Nothing really bad can happen with that.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there you go. Kind of look at your pitches right now. I know your fastball is currently kind of sitting 96, 97 around there. How much has your fastball progressed over these last few years, especially this last year?
Definitely a lot. Last year it was more of in the mid, low 90s, and just this offseason I worked really hard to, get to where, my goal was 96, 97, so I definitely hit that goal. And just, from freshman year was my goal to go D1, and I just worked really hard to get that. And now, my goal has kind of shifted since then, looking at the draft, but, just trying to gain as much velo as I can and still pitch as much as I can.
Talk about your other pitches. How has the other pitches been developing?
They kind of developed with the fastball also. Obviously whenever the velo goes up, your off-speed pitches get a little bit better because you can't really cheat to a slider whenever somebody's throwing mid-90s.
Yeah. How much have you relied on those other pitches? I know you like your fastball a lot, but how much have you relied on your off-speed?
They're just as important. Honestly, if people are on my fastball, because around here people know who I am, so they obviously cheat the fastball sometimes, so you got to keep them honest. Just being able to flip a slider in there, against Bree Central, I flipped a slider in there 3-1, and just being able to kind of get it over there for a strike and just keep people honest.
Yeah. In your opinion, what do you think is your best pitch and why?
Definitely my fastball. I feel like it has the velo, and I've gotten a lot of swings and misses this year.
Yeah. How did you start playing baseball?
It was in my backyard with my dad. Yeah, we lived out in Millstadt, so we had 4 acres, so we would just go out there and play baseball with him.
Nice. How did you start becoming a pitcher, playing the pitcher position?
Whenever I was 9, my dad actually, one of his friends, his son pitched at Ole Miss, my pitching coach now. So they were friends, and then he was like, hey, my son's going to start doing pitching lessons. And so I got hooked up with him. And then, just kind of like, that was kind of like an afterthought because I was more of a catcher and shortstop. But then, like, once I got into freshman year, I started throwing harder. And sophomore year, threw harder. And then I was like, I kind of like pitching more.
There you go.
Because, I mean, once you start throwing hard, it's just kind of like, you got to pick one sometime.
Yeah. What's been your biggest motivation throughout your career so far?
I mean, just goals, really. I mean, that's really all it is, just like internal motivation. Like, I have goals set for me that are very, very high. And so, like, every day I go to my facility, it's just working to those goals. And, like, I mean, it's not really any like, outside motivation. It's just my inner, like, motivating myself.
Yeah. Obviously, to this level, you've had to put a lot of work in. What's been, like, your work ethic? What have you been doing behind the scenes to get where you're at?
I mean, usually, I just got back from my facility, playing catch. Usually, in the off season, it was very long days. It was like 4 or 5 hours in the off season, like playing catch, getting really, really heavy workouts in. And then, I have a nutritionist now, so she gets me the foods that I need to be eating to obviously, like, keep my body maintained and get as much muscle as I can.
Continue off that. What's been the off season outside of high school baseball? What's that off season been like for you?
What do you like?
Off season outside of high school baseball. So like that off time between whatever June to February.
I mean, it was like very hard. Like, it was just pretty much working out all day.
Yeah.
Like, my trainer just absolutely gave me the hardest workouts I can because he knew my goals, and so he was like, I'm gonna push you as hard as you can. Like, obviously, I know that where you can be, so he just gave me all of my workouts and stuff, and so I just followed that plan, and obviously it's been paying off.
With you playing baseball since you were young, who's been your favorite player?
Right now it's between Jacob deGrom and Dustin May. Those two. Obviously, Dustin May is big and tall like I am, and he throws kind of like I do, so I love watching him. And then Jacob deGrom, obviously the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not really surprised with those picks. Them two, they both throw pretty fast like you do. There you go. Let's go look at the season so far. I know you've kind of these last few starts have had a little bit of struggling to get going in that first inning. So what's been kind of like the mindset after that first inning, just trying to rebound, settle in?
Just trusting my pitches and just being a pitcher, not just a thrower. Because I feel like the first inning, obviously I've had a little bumps in the first inning, but after that, I feel like I really lock in, and definitely the second through whatever inning is a lot better.
You're not just the only great pitcher on this Belleville East team. You got a lot of other guys behind you that pitch when you're not pitching. What's it like having this good of a pitching staff that can almost every single game you feel like you have a good shot to win?
It's great. We're all POs, so we're all sitting in the bullpen like on off days and stuff. So it's really good to learn from them, like what they do and what works for them. Because obviously, having them like on my team, it just makes me better.
You guys next week will take on Belleville West in the first round of the regional. You guys have played them twice so far. What do you guys know about them for those two games?
They're obviously. They can hit. We just got to attack the pitching side really. If our offense is working, I feel like we can definitely capitalize on that game.
Out of your years here on this Belleville East baseball team, what's been your favorite moment so far?
Definitely the past 2 years being Edwardsville, because obviously, they're a team that is always really good. So just being able to beat them the past 2 years is definitely like a step in the right direction for our program.
Yeah, continuing off that Edwardsville game last week on Thursday, Edwardsville, you pitched that game. What was it like, what was kind of the vibe inside the dugout, throughout the innings?
It was really upbeat. Sometimes we get down, but whenever we're at our best, we're really like up and just, having a lot of fun.
Yeah, second inning, you guys were down 1-0, but Tommy Krumkowski gets that 2-run double to give you guys the lead. What was kind of your reaction? What was some of your teammates' reactions in the dugout when that happened?
Everybody was going crazy, but as a pitcher, it's just, I got to go pitch my game. They gave me the lead now, so I just got to work with that and just, make sure they don't get any more to give us a good chance to win.
As we get ready here for the postseason, has that kind of the feeling of playing your last game in the Lance uniform set in yet?
Not really, no.
Yeah. as we, like I said, just get ready for the postseason, what would it mean to you, especially in your final year, senior year, to win a back-to-back regional championship and hopefully keep going, hopefully go all the way to state?
I mean, obviously all the seniors have been talking. Like, we just really want to go to state. I mean, we definitely have the team too. We definitely have all the parts. If we have, I mean, we've had a good kick the last week and a half. So I definitely think that we can keep that going into playoffs.
Out of your time here at East, what's one thing you'll take away from this and never forget here these few years here at East?
I mean, definitely the mental side. Coach Wiggs, Coach Brogman, Coach Blom, they're all psychology teachers. So just, the mental side definitely is something that I'll keep with me.
As we head into the postseason, what do you think right now is one strength of the team right now and one weakness you guys would like to improve on as you get ready here for the playoffs?
I mean, definitely. I mean, pretty much all year our pitching's been pretty solid. I mean, the weakness at the beginning of the season was hitting, but I mean the past week and a half, I mean we've been hitting pretty well. So honestly, if we can pull everything together, I feel like we could definitely make a deep run.
Yeah, there you go. Well, Zander, appreciate your time joining me. Glad to talk to you for the first time here interview. I know you got an interesting backstory, go to Ole Miss, rooting for you. I hope everything works out for you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you again.